The daily routine of a young star is easy to imagine: sudden fame, new opportunities, and tracks topping all the charts. Popularity not only on their own street but across the internet can make anyone's head spin. It's not easy to handle everything and avoid falling into the dusty box of forgotten hip-hop artists. It may seem that a ticket to a successful life is guaranteed, but in today's industry, a meteoric rise can be as swift as the fall that follows. Such a description can apply to many, but the hero of today's video is the true embodiment of the phrase one-hit wonder: Desiigner, a rapper whose rise was as sudden as his fleeting descent. He was once called the most promising freshman, and his debut single, Panda, became the defining track of 2016.
I got broads in Atlanta.
However, fame in the world of hip-hop is only a temporary phenomenon. Fierce competition and ever-changing trendy sounds won't allow listeners to stick with an artist who only releases 1 or 2 hits. The industry demands not only talent, but also the ability to constantly evolve due to the audience's whims. The hero of today's video is a vivid example of how quickly and easily an artist can lose their fans' interest, transforming from a household name to a forgotten rapper whose releases no one waits for anymore. Get comfortable as we dive into the brutal world of hip-hop through the lens of Desiigner's story. Sidney Royal Selby III was born on May 3, 1997, in Brooklyn, New York, in the Bedford-Stuyvesant neighborhood, which is known for high crime rates and social issues. According to the future artist, music surrounded him throughout his childhood and youth. His grandfather was a professional jazz performer, playing in bands such as the Drifters and the Isley Brothers. His parents filled their home with music daily by playing local radio stations, while his sister introduced him to reggae and dancehall. All this had an undeniable influence on young Sidney. He said, "I think it's in our blood. Everyone in my family sings. We either went to the choir or something happened at home and we sang. It just runs in my family. Music has always been with me, like a family tradition." Sidney first got behind a microphone at the age of 13 and never wavered in his desire to connect his life with music. But before fully dedicating himself to music, the young rapper was involved in illegal activities on the streets of his city, associating with local gangs. However, a turning point came the following year. At 14, Sidney was shot a few blocks from his home. The wound wasn't severe. The bullet went through his thigh. The shooting stemmed from a conflict with a local gang over selling illegal substances. This incident made the young man realize he needed to change his life. He said, "Know that I'll sell my talent instead." As mentioned earlier, Desiigner began his music career as a teenager, initially releasing tracks under various pseudonyms while trying to find his unique style and sound. He started with the alias Dezolo, later changing it to Desiigner before finally shortening it to Desiigner and adding a second I at his sister's suggestion. With a raspy voice and a knack for melodies, Desiigner quickly became known as a local performer in Brooklyn. His hook on the song Danny DeVito by the group Fresher in 2014 was played several times on New York radio and gave Desiigner a taste of what the future held. One of his earliest tracks, released back in 2015, was titled Zombie Walk. This track is a cover version dedicated to King Savage and his disability. Desiigner wrote the song based on the fact that people used to mock Savage for his walk. Instead, Desiigner supported him, saying it was a unique lifestyle he should embrace. The song showcased Desiigner's talent and his ability to create aggressive, energetic sounds that set him apart from other young artists. Although Zombie Walk didn't bring him significant success, it was a small step forward in his music career, opening doors to local concerts and increasing his fan base in Brooklyn. Other early tracks like On the Low, released before his mainstream breakthrough, also helped him gain initial views and attract an online audience. These songs spread on local platforms, helping him build a foundation of fans and make a name for himself on the local hip-hop scene. Desiigner focused heavily on developing a unique sound that blended trap elements with an aggressive vocal style influenced by modern hip-hop artists. However, he was often criticized by the public, particularly for tracks like On the Low, which people said sounded too similar to music by Future. In late December 2015, Desiigner introduced a new track called Panda on SoundCloud. 5 days later, it was released on iTunes, and in February 2016, it became his debut single. The creation of the track wasn't straightforward. One day, Sidney noticed a white BMW X6 with tinted black windows. The color scheme reminded him of a panda. At the same time, he was inspired by the panda emoji on his iPhone and decided to merge these images into his track, Panda. He later created the beat for the chorus, purchasing it from British producer Menace for $200. Once the foundation for the song was laid, the track quickly gained popularity. Desiigner explained, "Everyone was talking about it. Now everyone knows about it. Fragments of the song spread online, and a guy named Chubby posted the verse. He's my friend. He posted it on some channel. I uploaded the song, but not in full. I just let people listen to it." Panda quickly became popular on SoundCloud and attracted the attention of major rap labels. According to Desiigner, 11 different labels showed interest in him before he signed with Good Music after being noticed by the label's producer, Plain Pat. Each week, Panda grew in popularity, frequently hitting the radio thanks to DJs like Bobby Trends, whom he mentions in the song. Then in February 2016, Kanye West used the track for Father Stretch My Hands Part 2 from his album The Life of Pablo, catapulting Panda into the charts.
Up in the morning, miss you bad, sorry I ain't call you back, same problem.
During the presentation of his new album, Kanye announced that Desiigner had signed with his Good Music label. This was a significant event for the young artist and had a profound impact on his career. The reason Desiigner chose Kanye's label over others was Kanye's inspiring words. "Never let them call you just a rapper. You're more than labels. You're a creator. You're the voice of this world." These words became a true mantra for the artist. The rapper himself repeatedly stated that Kanye was not just a mentor and colleague for him, but became like an older brother. Kanye inspired the aspiring rapper, helped him build his career, and of course, allowed him to develop in the right direction under the guidance of his label.
How is it working with Kanye?
Yeah, feeling great, man. Like, it's great, man. Like, everybody's got the same creative mindset, the same creative, like, thinking. Like, we bring our creative thoughts all at the same time and we deliver, man.
In April 2016, Desiigner gave an interview to Billboard, where he enthusiastically announced the upcoming release of his new mixtape, initially titled Trap History Month. The title promised to reflect the rapper's unique path and style, in which he planned to express his thoughts on contemporary hip-hop and its influence on society. However, he soon decided to rename it New English, symbolizing his intention to bring fresh ideas and sounds into the game and show his evolution as an artist. During the interview, Desiigner shared his thoughts on the future, his talent, and what he hoped to convey to his fans through the new project. The mixtape was expected to be more than just a collection of songs. It aimed to be a cohesive piece where each track would narrate his personal experiences and struggles. This promise captured the attention of devoted fans and new listeners alike, who anticipated something extraordinary and memorable. Meanwhile, in the same year, a significant milestone occurred in the artist's career. His hit Panda reached the #1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, marking a major triumph for the young musician. This success was more than just a high chart position. It made Desiigner the first New York rapper to top the chart since Jay-Z did with Empire State of Mind in 2009. Desiigner's achievement became a landmark moment, proving he had earned his place among the most influential and promising artists of his generation. June 2016 was packed with news about the rising hip-hop star. On June 12th, the lead single Champions from the album Cruel Winter, which unfortunately was never released, was dropped. This track was a significant event not only for Desiigner, but for the music industry as a whole, featuring prominent artists like Kanye West, Gucci Mane, Big Sean, 2 Chainz, Travis Scott, Yo Gotti, and Quavo. The lineup was impressive, underscoring Desiigner's growing popularity and his ability to collaborate with leading figures in hip-hop. The very next day, June 13th, 2020, XL released its annual freshman class list, which, as expected, included Desiigner. This recognition marked an important milestone in his career, reflecting his dominance on the charts. On June 25th, 2016, Desiigner released his highly anticipated debut studio album, New English. The album was a major step in the young rapper's career, though it received mixed reviews from critics, sparking discussions in music circles. Critics praised the album's sound, noting that it embodied a modern style aligned with current hip-hop trends. However, many pointed out significant flaws, such as a lack of originality and an unfinished feel. Matthew Ramirez from Pitchfork shared his perspective, saying, "It feels like the last 5 years of hip-hop watered down. New English is so frustratingly derivative that it almost creates a new vocabulary out of the Lego blocks of other rappers it builds upon. There's the maximalism of Waka Flocka Flame and Lex Luger, the deafening blood-red song chaos of Chief Keef, and, of course, the distinct syrupy drawl of Future enhanced by promethazine. Aside from a Brooklyn accent, there's nothing that sets Desiigner apart from any of these artists." This quote encapsulated the disappointment felt by listeners who had expected something more innovative and fresh from Desiigner. The high expectations arose from the success of Panda, a hit that set a high bar for his subsequent work. Fans, comparing the album to his debut single, concluded that New English sounded much weaker. Many noted that the tracks on the album were too similar to one another, creating a sense of monotony and lack of variety in sound. Just a month after the debut album's release, Desiigner unveiled his legendary freestyle Tiimmy which quickly went viral and became as popular as his previous hit, Panda.
He was wishing for a burner.
The track became a phenomenon, celebrated as one of the best a cappella performances, with the rapper delivering his lyrics through a melodic chant accompanied only by finger snaps. Desiigner himself shared the story behind the freestyle's creation. "If you look at my Instagram, I used to promote my songs with an app that was on Android. It had a loading screen with a sound check, and I sang over it. Tiimmy Turner, he be wishing for a burner. Unfortunately, the app was lost, but the melody stayed in my head, pushing me to create this freestyle." Tiimmy Turner made it into the top 40 of the Billboard Hot 100, solidifying Desiigner's status as one of the most popular artists of 2016. The track not only earned him acclaim but also strengthened his position in the hip-hop industry, proving his ability to create hits that resonate globally. Today, Tiimmy Turner ranks second only to Panda in terms of streams. In 2017, Desiigner's discography experienced a relative lull, with no standout hits replicating his earlier success. However, the year was notable for his unexpected and intriguing collaboration with the renowned South Korean group BTS, which had already gained immense popularity worldwide. On November 7, 2017, it was announced that the group would release a remix of their song Mic Drop, featuring Desiigner and renowned DJ Steve Aoki. The collaboration was a significant event, bridging two distinct musical worlds and showcasing how hip-hop and K-pop could intersect. Desiigner met BTS members on the red carpet after the Billboard Music Awards, where he was one of the invited artists. According to him, BTS's manager approached him and said, "Listen, I love your energy, the way you channel it through your music." These words initiated their collaboration. Recording Mic Drop took only 10 to 15 minutes. A highlight of this collaboration was Desiigner's introduction to Steve Aoki, who also worked on the remix. Over time, their friendship grew so strong that they even got matching tattoos, symbolizing their close bond and mutual respect in the music industry. That same year, Desiigner continued his creative efforts, releasing a new track titled Outlet. This single was part of his attempts to maintain audience interest and experiment with his style. Following this, he collaborated with Gucci Mane on the track Life. Both of these releases received fairly decent play counts, but they failed to replicate the success of previous hits. Despite the singles Outlet and Life maintaining Desiigner's energy and charisma, they did not bring anything new to his sound. Fans began to notice that the songs did not evoke the same emotions as his earlier hits. Critics noted that while the new tracks followed the established style, they lacked excitement and failed to leave a lasting impression. They warned that the artist needed to seek new approaches and sounds to maintain audience interest. In May 2018, Desiigner's Instagram profile suddenly went blank, much to the surprise of fans. With nearly 2 million followers, no one understood what was happening. Not a single photo or video remained on his account. Even his profile picture disappeared, leaving users puzzled. Why did this happen? The answer soon became clear. The rapper was preparing to delight his fans with the long-awaited EP titled Life of Desiigner. Initially, this release was planned as a full-length album that would demonstrate the artist's creative growth and evolution. However, as Desiigner himself revealed, his life was full of challenges during that period. He experienced a difficult breakup with his girlfriend, struggled with substance abuse, and faced family problems. Amid these issues, he learned about his father's cancer diagnosis, adding stress and uncertainty to his life. For these reasons, the rapper decided that releasing an EP was the best choice. Choosing an EP over an album became a way for Desiigner to express the emotions he had accumulated during this challenging period in his life and career. This release was meant to serve as a sort of interlude before a major album, which he had mentioned in numerous interviews. It was planned that the upcoming album would be called Sydney, but the world never saw it as a completed work. Life of Desiigner includes 7 tracks recorded in Hawaii in the same studio where Kanye West worked on his famous album 808's Heartbreak. This fact added even more significance to the release, since the studio has a reputation as the birthplace of musical masterpieces. The rapper himself said, "Now my loyal listeners can finally feel the difference between New English and Life of Desiigner, see the progress I've made and the work I've put in for them." He expected the new release to showcase his development as an artist and allow fans to understand how much he had grown and changed over his relatively short musical career. Unfortunately, the EP received rather mixed reviews and feedback. Once again, it became evident that Desiigner still could not surpass his previous hits that brought him fame and recognition.
I get checked for price tag, G, ooh, like that, diamonds, they bite that.
Many music critics noted that Life of Desiigner failed to demonstrate significant growth in both sound and creative vision. They commented that the project sounded overly monotonous and did not bring any innovation to the rapper's style. Thus, despite all the effort and emotional investment, the EP did not meet the expectations of either critics or fans, leaving many questions about Desiigner's future position in the hip-hop industry. In addition to the criticism surrounding the EP, Life of Desiigner marked the artist's last release under the Good Music label. In 2019, the rapper officially announced his departure from the label. On social media, even before leaving, Desiigner did not hesitate to express his dissatisfaction, repeatedly stating that he had signed with the label as the biggest fool. In one of his Instagram stories, Sydney even called Kanye crazy, saying, "But to me, that dude is crazy. I make music on my own. For myself, I took good music back." The label not only neglected Sydney's career, but also did not allow him to release new albums, which were sold in small quantities due to the rapper's declining popularity. Sydney had enough, so he decided to independently publish a free mixtape with the straightforward title, Fuck Good. The release was immediately removed by the label, but fans managed to download the tracks. Essentially, this was the full-fledged album New English 2. All the songs were complete, featuring many guest stars: French Montana, A Boogie with Da Hoodie, Rich the Kid, Pusha T, Migos, Sway Lee, Party Next Door, and many others. Notably, if this album had been released earlier, officially, and with a solid promotional campaign, Desiigner could have easily regained part of his audience and media attention. In subsequent interviews, the rapper elaborated on his reasons for leaving the label. Sydney admitted he had a negative view of Kanye's tracks about God and Christianity, as well as Kanye's support for Trump. Additionally, according to Desiigner, Kanye did not provide him with the necessary freedom and support, preventing the young rapper from shining. From this point onward, the audience began to notice how the once cheerful and smiling Desiigner gradually started losing his spirit. With his departure from the label, which had been a significant part of his career, his situation worsened significantly, and the global pandemic immediately followed. This made it even harder for him to advance his career. Gradually, fans began losing sight of the rapper. Adding to his emotional distress, Sydney was deeply affected by the death of his grandfather in 2020. This loss further weighed down his already unstable mental and emotional state. In 2021, the rapper's reputation came under scrutiny again when his girlfriend and manager Zana Ray was involved in a serious car accident. She decided to share her experiences with her followers on Instagram, posting a video from the hospital where she revealed that Sydney never visited her after the accident and called him selfish. Moreover, Zana referred to Desiigner as a drug child, highlighting a possible connection between his mental health struggles and the fact that he grew up in a family where many members used illicit substances.
Unfortunately, Desiigner is a victim of a child of a parent that, had endured a lot of drug abuse while she was pregnant with him. So he has a lot of mental issues associated to, being a drug baby. And I have been as nice as I could be for the longest, but literally, I've seen him one night. I've been here since, right, Mom? Sunday morning. So that's the 28th, I think, if I'm right. I don't know, the days are messing up. But I've been here for almost a week, and I've only seen him once. Now, I'm not sure if he's visited any other time, but I really shouldn't even be on here, but I just had to make it known and make it clear to everyone what's going on with me, why I'm out of commission. I will probably no longer be working with Desiigner. Just getting my severance and I'll move on. I've never ever thought, I've been in the hospital with him in all different countries. I've sat by his bed, Bahamas when he busts his leg up, falling off of stages, and I am thoroughly shocked to say that he's not here.
This revelation became another troubling sign for fans, raising many questions about the rapper's health and well-being, someone who was once known for his energy and optimism. That same year, the rapper released a track dedicated to Kanye called Letter to Ye. In this song, over a relaxed piano beat, Desiigner reflected on all the good moments he had shared with Kanye West and Pusha T, including how his song was featured in Yeezy Season 3 at Madison Square Garden and how he performed at Summer Jam. Naming Good Music a dream team, Sydney told Kanye he wouldn't give up on his dream of a successful career and thanked him for his help over the years.
Thank you for everything. Yeah, I won't give up.
The final confirmation of Sydney's full downfall came in 2022, a year that proved extremely difficult for him. That year, 2 of the rapper's close friends passed away, breaking his morale and emotional balance completely. In September, PNB Rock tragically died in a restaurant shooting, shocking everyone who knew and loved him. Just a month later, Takeoff, another of Sydney's closest friends in the industry, lost his life. These losses became unbearable for the rapper, who found himself alone with all this weight. To share his emotional state with others, Desiigner went live on Instagram, breaking down in tears. This was the first time his followers saw the rapper's genuine emotions, and the pain he was experiencing became evident. In that same live stream, the artist openly stated that he could no longer live like this and made the decision to quit rap.
Why? Why do we do this? Why do we do this? Why do we fucking do it? I swear to God, this shit ain't nothing. I'm done rap. I'm done rap. Yo, you hearing me? It's done. This version of me is done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. That's a Takeoff, bro. It's done. Y'all wanted it, it's over. 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 Y'all killed Takeoff. Why the fuck that's my brother, bro? I can't even hold the tear, I can't even call Quay, I can't call Offset, I can't call none of these niggas. Yo, the Rail. Yo, Rail.
These events raised concerns and left people wondering how long he could continue amidst so many sad and difficult moments. However, the rapper later retracted his statement about leaving rap, explaining it as follows: "Takeoff wouldn't want me to stop, bro. You gotta keep going. Keep growing stronger and stronger inside, and you'll make it."
Wound up hitting me, man. I had wound up losing like 3 friends in a month and all that shit, big cat. And word, it just like, you know what I mean, hit me.
Yeah.
Right after the session, I was just recording, you know what I mean, on our journey, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then my boy, I just called him like, yo, bro, I love you. You feel what I'm saying? He was just like, word, man, we need more love. You feel me? We just lost Tate.
Yeah.
And it just was bad, man. It was bad to hear that shit, you feel me?
Yeah.
Word, so I wound up, you know what I mean? Just, you feel me? Just letting it all out, you feel me? I had nobody there to talk to at that moment.
Right.
So I just let it all out, you know what I mean? And just rebirth myself, you feel what I'm saying? Word.
I was about to say, how do you feel mentally now? Like, it feels like you're back, you got your head back in the game on the rap shit?
I appreciate it, fam.
Yeah.
Word up. Heck yeah, word. It feels amazing, word, man. I feel like that was, you know, Tate, PNB, my boy, you know what I mean? Latika passed away in the hood. They just, you know what I mean, losing 2 industry friends, you know what I mean? Just really just, they just gave me, like, boost, bro, to just keep going, bro. Like, don't give up, you feel what I'm saying? Like, I feel like none of them would want me to ever give up, you feel what I'm saying, or what I put my, you know, my the stone to do.
Since then, the rapper has continued to release music, although play counts for his releases and views for his videos are negligible compared to his past fame. Fans continue to support Sydney, acknowledging that despite the heavy burden he has faced, he remains in the industry and keeps making music. While he may not be gaining new listeners, he has earned the respect of those who remain by his side. However, in the very next year, the rapper literally loses everything: respect, reputation, and control over himself. During a 12-hour flight in April of the previous year, Desiigner publicly stripped off an hour after takeoff. He covered himself, but then exposed himself again, causing the flight attendants to ask him to stop, which he did. He was then informed that he would be arrested upon arrival at the airport. Afterward, he exposed himself a 3rd time, after which the rapper was escorted to the back of the plane, where Vaseline fell out of his pants. In September, he was sentenced by the U.S. District Court in Minneapolis after pleading guilty to indecent exposure on a plane. He was sentenced to 120 hours of community service, a fine of $5,000, and 2 years of probation. Court reports stated that he would be entered into a sex offender registry, though his lawyers denied these charges. The rapper's lawyers argued in court documents that he had been suffering from dehydration, exhaustion due to his music tour and travel, substance abuse, and medication he had illegally obtained from a hospital in Thailand. A few days after the incident, the artist posted a video in which he was listening to his new track, claiming that he was on the verge of entering a rehabilitation center. later, while the consequences of his behavior on the plane were unfolding.
Twisted up, blood and I'm creeping. She wanna throw it back, money keep giving. I grind till I finish, I grind till I finish.
Later, the rapper shared that he really needed specialized help, and he checked into a psychiatric clinic. In his social media, he wrote, quote, "They gave me medication and I had to fly back on a plane. I'm ashamed of what I did on that plane. I came back to the States and went to the hospital to get help. I'm canceling all performances and commitments until further notice. Mental health is serious, guys. Please pray for me. If you're not feeling well, please reach out for help." After returning from the psychiatric clinic, Desiigner spoke on a podcast and said the following, quote, "I didn't understand what I was doing. I was completely high. This was when I was vegan, I was lacking sugar and stuff like that, so yeah, I was like out of my mind." The rapper also added that before the flight he had taken mushrooms but didn't know how to properly calculate the dosage of those substances. The public was greatly surprised by such a statement from the artist and considered his remark just an excuse for his behavior. The artist claimed that he is now 100% sober and focused on restoring his mental health. During the same podcast he said, "I was not in the right place. I was just having fun and didn't control myself at that moment. I came home and just started getting better. It was time to read more, go hiking, work out. It was time to really collect my thoughts and build a mental foundation to pull it all together." The rapper also added that this situation made him finally realize that he needed to quit using substances.
You know, you start thinking about, hey, yo, man, I need the drugs, I need this shit, like, but then you like, yo, this is all clean. I knew at that time, once I was on the plane, I was like, yo, this is my place to really, like, detox and get all this out of my body and really just start off from a fresh start.
Definitely. What drugs were you on when you were on the plane?
Just out of my body, bro. I tell you, bro, I can't even explain how my body personally felt, you know what I mean?
But there was no drugs in your system at all at that time?
Like, just overdose on shrooms.
All right, so you were on shrooms at the time?
And young, and not really knowing how to really be, like, not being prescribed them, you know what I mean? So it was just like this free, just balling, and things like that could be in your liver and pack up, and you feel me, you could have a trip. Just being there, you feel me?
But did you feel like you wanted to like come right off of that and put music out while you had that attention, or was it obvious to you that you wanted to take your time and
take my time?
Okay.
Take my time and rebuild myself, rebuild my character and stuff.
Because that would have been crazy if you dropped like a storytelling song where you're just like breaking down what happened on the plane.
I was.
Go full King Von on them.
Yeah, you feel me? Nah.
Despite the fact that the artist did not plan to stay in the media spotlight and release music soon, he participated in Kanye West's new album, Vultures 2, on the track Sky City, featuring alongside 70 Shake and Sci-Hi, surprising fans. It seems that the conflict between them is finally resolved, and the two artists speak respectfully of their past collaboration.
Say it's mine, yeah. No, it's mine, yeah. Can we fly, yeah?
By 2024, Sydney continues to remain in the public's mind, mainly as a rapper with one main hit that achieved enormous success. His track Panda gathered an impressive 594 million views, and it would be fair to expect that such popularity would ensure him a long-term career. However, this was not the case. Nearly all subsequent releases, aside from Tiimmy Turner, failed to attract a wide audience, and the rapper's recent videos are getting fewer than 1 million views, which clearly shows the loss of public interest in his music. Desiigner became a striking example of how a rapid rise to the musical peak is often followed by an equally rapid loss of fame. This raises many questions about who is responsible for the loss of his success. It should be remembered that Sydney had just finished high school when he became popular, along with enormous success and an incredible amount of money. Unprepared for it, the young man needed someone by his side. The rising artist expected support from Kanye, as he was one of the reasons for the rapper's huge success. However, Kanye himself was dealing with his own career problems, facing constant scandals and public reproaches. Desiigner said that the lack of support hit him hard. Here are his words. "I just wanted to be with them. I wanted to be on the team, but no one supported me and my new music. I felt like I wasn't with them. Pressure from fans, lack of attention from the label, banned substances, and personal problems he had to face undoubtedly affected his emotional state and career. These factors created a vicious circle that was hard to break. As a result, 2023 became a significant milestone, and after the incident on the plane, it became clear to many that the rapper's return to his former position in music was unlikely, as his reputation was permanently damaged. However, one cannot completely rule out his career. The artist is now focused on restoring his mental state, and perhaps in the future, he will be able to release something that removes the one-hit wonder label. We wish the artist a speedy recovery and hope that one day he will delight us with releases that show his full potential. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave comments and share your thoughts about Desiigner's career. See you next time.